Hey y'all, so real quick before I get into the Spanish, I want to say that I said I was going to come back on here and kind of briefly tell you how my shadowing went. So I've done it for 3 days. It will be on tomorrow. Night will be my third night. But I can say that um, it's definitely exciting. Emergency medicine is always something going on. It's similar to urgent care. I always compare emergency medicine to urgent care. It's like the mini version of the ER. If you are ever worked in urgent care, that's what it feels like. I've been exposed to pain management, urgent care, and mental health clinics. Those have been like my areas that I've worked in. So I'm familiar with like some of the, mental health type of folk that come in from the community. So like I was able to observe working with both PAs. Both have been there for years, it seems. Sorry, I just got off of work, so I'm tired. So basically, I did a 12-hour shift. So I did my first, close to 12 hours. So I did my 7.5 hour shift earlier this morning, where I got off at 3 a.m. And then I came back at 3 p.m. and worked until 7 p.m. So I am extremely tired. And mind you, I have a Spanish exam homework to finish up, which is not that much, thank God. I'm like 77% from finishing that. But yeah, so we were able to see someone whose leg was infected, looked like skin flushing, bacteria eating type situation. Older lady. We ended up, dealing with alcohol withdrawal, a suicide attempt. He had gashed his head with like a bottle. He was saying that he wanted to kill himself, wanted to walk in front of traffic. It was like real deep. And he felt like the PA that was working a night shift and who I was observing, he felt like he didn't have no compassion. But um, as the day shift PA told me, it's not that you aren't compassionate about it, but you have to be, you have to pick your battles, and you have to pretty much determine whether it's an emergency situation versus not. Because we have people all the time that come into ER and they don't be sick. Some of them just want to stay there for hours on end. I think the longest that I've been working there was 24 hours. And I was like, that's ridiculous, because there's no way I'm about to stay at no hospital for no 24 hours and not get put in a room. Um, People have been left in the wait room because we are so short of help. Um, you think the pandemic was terrible? No, after the pandemic has been terrible. Like, people don't want to work and it's just ridiculous. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But moving forward, the PA experience of shadowing was awesome. I got to even talk to like their boss, who was like really just like, oh my God, like I am so like thankful for you, being a transporter and like taking our patients to their rooms. Like you really get to like learn so much. And she was like, and it was just like a no-brainer. Like, you work here and you want to shadow and see if this is something that you want to do in the near future. Like, that's so amazing. And she also was like, it allows you to be well-rounded and a better provider when you've worked and been exposed in the hospital setting, especially in ER. ER is probably the toughest, I would say, in the hospital. I think all of the other floors are, pretty laid back. I've even had a couple of floors trying to recruit me, a couple of locations that's not even at Royal Oak trying to get me to go to their facility. But at the time, I had just started, so I was unable to do any transfers because you have to wait like 6 months. And then on top of that, like, let me being a medical assistant, like, I I'm aware of a lot of things, so it's not like I don't know of it or how to do it. I just haven't done it in a while, so I would have to brush up on getting back used to doing it. But once I learn something and do something, like it pretty much comes back to me like that. So, the crazy part about it is that they don't give me enough credit, considering I'm a technical aid, aka transporter. Um, there's also things that we're not able to do, but like I learned different things from different nurses. So I was like, oh, okay, one nurse was like, yeah, if you can't take it, just tie it off like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, we still can't, do anything, but I got you. I was like, because normally I just, tie it up or whatnot. But he showed me another way of like stopping if they have a prima fit and to like tie it at the end and it'll stop it for the time being, a little knot. So I'm like, oh, okay, that might be a little bit easier the next time. So I'll probably use that trick moving forward. Cause I sometimes the gloves, they're harder to untangle or unravel. So I think that would be an awesome way of doing it. So I will try it in my next runs if I ever, get a person that has a perma fit. But no, I really do. I learned so much. I learned, from Caesars, patients, all the way down to risk for falls and everything like that. So that's pretty amazing. But for the most part, we got to see some alcohol withdrawal, somebody who was also drug user, um, who had quit doing drugs, but then started kind of leaning back towards it, but really mostly the alcohol was what was getting them and they wanted to stop. So that was cool to see that they were willing to, try to get help and seek help so that they could stop drinking and stop doing drugs. We had people who would get medications that they were allergic to, be on it for a week, and then end up getting, a yeast infection or some kind of infection. And so having to, prescribe a tolerable antibiotic that would not, cause those issues. We even ran into one individual who ended up having an STI. Though she had said she had never had one, but apparently she like flared up, and so, easily quick fix, got some medicine going for, and everything else turned out to be okay. Wasn't pregnant, none of that, so that was cool. But I'm pretty sure she was probably cussing that lovely young man that she probably has dated or messed around with. Probably was cussing him out after we left. But considering the fact that there's so much to do. They had some trauma that I got to see. They tubed a lady, like they put her out with some kind of medicine, knocked her out because Ativan wasn't working or whatever, or it wouldn't calm her down. And they stuck the tube down her throat so they could like really get the scan of her inside to see what was going on with that. Um, and after all of that was done, they basically had to restrain her because she was already like pulling at the I think catheter and all of that. It was a lot going on. So needless to say, there right before I left, there was another victim that came in, trauma. She was having like multiple seizures, and then guess what? Found out she was pregnant, but she didn't know she was pregnant. The night prior to that, a couple days prior to it, um there was a case where they had an individual that came in, had just relocated back from out of state into Michigan, about 30 some years old, overweight, I believe, a little plus size young lady. Lady did not know she was pregnant. She was having some kind of symptoms with her eyes, something tore in her eyes, so it caused her to go blind. And they had to deliver the baby like ASAP. So that was wild to hear. Um, and only thing that the staff remember her saying is, please don't tell my mother. But I'm like, ma'am, you're grown. So if you was out there doing it and not using protection, guess what? She know now. That's so here they go. The other physicians, they're like, yeah, so the mom was just like reading her book as if she didn't hear anything that was happening. Like she was just like, let me just bury my face in this book because this is not none of my business. So yeah, she ended up delivering a baby, ended up being blind. So I don't know what the situation will be as far as her getting help. So sorry. My fault. But I know I don't get a chance to do half of my videos, so I try to do them when I can. But excuse me again for having another yawn. Like I am like you can see in my eyes that I'm tired, but I still gotta push through because I gotta, get this stuff done. And I'm also on a crunch to get the rest of my essays done for the month of August. So I have 4 that I have to do. I have to kind of go back and redo. Um some of the courses so that I can have the final grades for those courses. So when they receive the transcripts, I won't have any problems with that. I'm also registering to take calculus, so that's getting ready to start next week. I believe it's next week. As I wrap up my physics too, I have an A in physics too, thank God. I do want to give you an update. You got all on this research class that has been a nightmare for me. But in hindsight, I did talk to the professor on Friday. We was having some hit and misses with the trying to get my main focus was really the memo, like trying to get that in order. But basically what happened is I had to like email it from my phone to my work email because I wasn't at home. So I could do the meeting with the professor. So we sat down, we talked about it, we, kind of mapped out and did a rework of what and what. However, um I do feel like it could have been a little bit better, but I don't know. Hopefully, I can get a last draft up and get that together and sent back over. Um, I also am thankful because if I can get a high score on the memo and my final paper, I can potentially get out of class with a low B. C plus is, of course, right there. But a B minus would be so awesome. And I've been working really hard. We have 3 weeks left of class, so I am literally grinding every day, including work, school, parents, even though my mom is helping out big time. Sorry. Oh, and then this weather has been crazy with the stuff in the air the air quality has been horrible up here because of the wildfire in Canada. Um, sorry, excuse me. But yeah, so I will be finishing that soon. I would then be going into scholarly writing, my last course of my doctoral program. Literally would be 4 or 5 months away from being officially called Dr. Nina. Woo! Hey! As well as waiting to find out what PA school I will be going to. Like I said, I picked 4 schools that were hybrid. And I tried to group them based off of like the August, September deadlines. Of course, I had like a few that was going into next year, but I'll have them hopefully ready and done somewhere in that now and August deadline. I did make sure to go double check to make sure that they had my GRE scores. because those were updated. There were a couple of schools that I think last year they like allowed you to put, I think, your PCAT in there if you took it. Some schools, of course, took your GRE, and if you had like a language test, they would take those scores. So fingers crossed, y'all, that we get in. I definitely am going to reapply to Hawaii Pacific because that school was so amazing when I went out there. I didn't get a chance to do a tour, but it was really nice to see what the campus looked like. And from what, the weather, of course, was gorgeous. Like, come on now, who wouldn't want to stay in Hawaii for like a year or so? Yeah, it might be expensive, but who cares? Like, it's Hawaii. But like I said, like I did choose for hybrid schools, just because I, did consider my relationship. And though we've, had bumpy roads here and there, I still let him in. Like, it don't matter. He can get on my nerves 1,000 times and I'll still feel the same about him. Like, I really genuinely do care and love this man. Um, since day one, like it's just been a love that I don't know, like I just cannot even describe or explain. It's almost like, like this is what God kind of showed me, which is so odd and weird because I mean, we were in two different stages of our lives that was just like not foreseen at all. Like I never, when I say never, like I had never really took the time to be like, oh, this could be my potential person or whatever. And, but I think for him, it was like from day one when he saw me, he was just like, oh my God. And so, when I first, we went out to breakfast or something, we met, for breakfast. And we were talking, and then I asked a question, which is important? Are you married? And, because he never answered the question when he first asked me to go to breakfast. So I asked him again. I'm like, why are you avoiding that? That's a yes or no question. Like, if you hesitant, that means that it's something, it's a red flag already. So he finally opened up and said, and was honest about it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, yeah, let me pay for my half. And, you go ahead and figure out. You got something figured out, so I don't know what's happening right now. And so I left it at that, and then I started dating my childhood crush, and of course that didn't go too far nowhere. I think we dated maybe a good 6 months, and then he was on to the next. And I really do think he was a womanizer, but that's my opinion. He might say something different. But we had been real close friends for years. But I adored this young man, and all the way down to his kids. I was just respectful in general because I'm like, man, like you had beautiful kids, and you had a nice wife and everything. Like it was just like, what happened? What made you, go to the left? And, even when we were, kicking it for like the little short time that we kicked it for before I met, Ephraim, I'm like, oh, we're going to get married. We're going to have a baby, da da da, this and that. And then nothing happened. And of course, he should be what, about 40, 41 now. And well, I'm 39. So haven't had no baby. But that's besides the point. The point is that, um, I just really care about him. And my close friends that know me, when I talk about somebody, it's very rare. Like that means that I really do like them a lot. I really do have, love and respect and everything. So it just was a shocker that, some years later that somehow we still ended up somehow getting together. Um, but no, I am very respectful, and I don't, get into those drama situations. I don't like to put myself in no type of situation because, nothing good come out of it, and I just was like, wow, like what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm like, well, when you figure out what you're trying to do, you figure that out. I'm about to go over here and do what I got to do. And so, like I literally, boom, was in a relationship, went into the next one. It moved so fast, and then we crashed, and that was that. And um, and then somehow we did a full circle and came back, and I don't know, it was way different. Um, I mean, he just was so nice. When I say so nice, like he was just like, let me show you this and like talk to me, listen to me. Now every once in a while he gets, kind of irritated or frustrated, but I get it because of me being so busy and in school, working and this and that, like it's really, it is really kind of a challenge. And so yeah. But we're about to bring home a new puppy. I meant to get him today, but I didn't even have time to even go get a cage, get a collar, a leash, a bed, nothing for him to be able to lay down and chill. Um, but I tell you, oh, I was like, what? But I have named him Zeus. And so he'll probably come tomorrow because I'll go run and get all that stuff tomorrow. But right now, I am going to get into the Spanish. Oh, let me tell you what I have in Spanish, y'all, because from the when I took it the first time at LCC, baby, it was not looking pretty. You see, that is how many assignments we've had so far. I have about a 94. Hours spent is about almost 19 hours. Of course, that's not even including um, today's work. Right here, you can see it's 156. This is where you kind of can see my improvement. I still am working on that listening part, but speaking is a little bit better. As far as I'm responding back. And it doesn't look like our final for the Spanish is going to be that bad. So I think I'm supposed to have my camera on when I do the final exam to respond to my answers. So we will see how that works out for us. Um, of course, I just want to do really well. So I'll make sure that, it is recorded and uploaded and bam. So I can get my final score for that done. I think I have a paper coming up soon. And then we have the other section that is about to become available. So I'll be able to do that. But this is just one of the many things that I get to do. And brush up on my Spanish as well as in the fall. I'll be finishing up my sign language so I can get a little bit more fluent in that area. And then I can also put it on my essays. Like, I have some basic sign language. I have, basic Spanish elementary type where I can kind of, give some feedback here and there. And of course, you have to practice and keep saying and doing. So hopefully I'll be able to do so. And yeah, so just wanted to share with y'all some of my um some of what I've been doing. And just so y'all can see my physics class here. This is really crazy. This reminds me of high school. A in physics. And these are some of the labs that I just did a couple of weeks ago. And I was just talking to my professor about two of them because they showed up as late. Here goes some more classes that I got coming up. Like I said, Calc 2 is coming up next week. I just finished Bio 2, and this was my final grade. So over here, as you can see, I got a B, but a lot of her assignments was really hard as far as in like when you had to do like these assessment assignments. Those were like super hard for some odd reason. Like discussions were cool. Our lab reports were also like another challenge sometimes because I could never get past a 60 something. I think the lowest I got was like a 46 right here. And I was like lab 4 sensory. But like for the most part, like these were pretty much like all of my scores. So it was like a 50-50 chance that, I was doing pretty decent for the most part in the class. As you can see, I got an 84.5.92. And then this was week 7. Week 7 was decent except for that last one right there. That was kind of a little challenging, but I knocked it out. I wasn't too mad about it. Like a B, come on now. Like you cannot. And then even here, this was my my Chem 2 class. Now mind you, Chem 2, I haven't done Chem in a while. But you can see like all of these were pretty green. I don't even think I had too many like in bio class. Like I said, it depends on the professor and how serious you want them to, they want to, be grading you. But I'm just thankful that like I don't have to, worry about having to take them over because now it really has set the stage for my PA to look at like, okay, she took physics 2. Oh, okay, she, went back and like she's killing physics 2, and I think the first time I took it I had a B. So to have a B and then go to an A is pretty amazing. And for some time, of course, I have a tutor, so they explain stuff to me so I can have a better understanding. But for the most part, I still do the work. I still have to learn the material. I still have to turn in the information and do the best that I can in explaining it. But yeah, like I really just have been grinding, working hard, but I am just so ecstatic about possibly getting that B minus in my lovely research course. And I'm just gonna pave the way for the next individual person. And really just say keep at it, keep working hard, don't give up. Talk to your professors, talk to your advisors, talk to whoever you need to talk to get through, because without doing that, you could possibly give up on yourself or whatnot, and that's not the intentional. That's not the intention. Like you should want to fight through it, not give up, and really just pave the way so that the next person can get through it way easier than the things that you had to go through. Like, I really do think that if I had been paying a little bit more close attention to like memo 2 or my discussion board 7, that I could have, still saved my grade and got and made sure that I for sure cushioned myself at a B. But it's all good. Like, life happens. You miss an assignment. I do have to say that for this particular program, though, like the strictness of a late assignment is ridiculous. Like, when I say if you are late a minute, that's a 0. If you miss a punctuation or you spell something wrong or you cite something wrong, a 0. Um, if you don't have 250 words, a 0. Um, even if the response is good, it's still a 0. I've never had a program that, especially with me having accommodations, tell me that I'm still getting a 0 on an assignment. Like, I still got graded for it. I mean, I'm like, they literally are like, oh, you have to tell us that you need an extension and you can only get a day extension. That's probably all I need is about a day. But I have not been getting that. I have been getting the, oh, based off of the curriculum, if you're late, it's just a 0. Like, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you've worked hard or not, like, you just don't get credit. And it just, to me, I just feel like that's so unfair. I get life is unfair on a lot of different other things, but like stuff like that, I feel like that shouldn't even like be a thing. Like, discussion boards are supposed to be for participation and for your attendance to make sure that you are there, that you are trying to participate in the class. That's why they have discussion boards, not to, say you tried, but guess what? I'm still giving you a 0 because you didn't do what the standard is for this program. Mind you, y'all just graduated about maybe 40 people or so from last year. And mind you, I'm still under the 25 calendar, but I had to sign everything under the 26 calendar. So it's like just ridiculous, like that I have to wait some months later to walk down this walk across the stage. My other homegirl was like, she finished I think in June, and so she finally got her degree in the mail. So I'm so proud of her. She got published. She got her degree, and she was only one class behind. So that was awesome to hear. Me on the other hand, I was 2 classes behind. So after they, basically dropped me from the last course, I had to basically take this class over the research. And it has been a rocky, bumpy road, up and down, round and round. But I'm thankful that like the professor, works with me and tries to make sure that it is authentic and genuine. And so all I can do is keep trying it and trying to make it happen. Get as many points that I can that's left that I can get, and just hope for the best. So literally I would literally have to score high on my last paper and this memo 5 to get a B minus. So fingers crossed, everybody. Y'all pray for me. Keep me in y'all prayers that I get this B minus. If I get a B minus, then I can get my refund check. If I don't get a B minus, yeah. So, till next time, I will talk to y'all later. I'm already over time, so later.